Oh, what's going on, guys? Dylan here from RotoSeason.com, and football is finally back. We have the NFL Hall of Fame game on the board for today to kick off the preseason between the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Las Vegas Raiders. And in this video, I'm going to be taking a look at the PrizePicks board for today's game and going over some props I'm liking and just giving my overall thoughts and analysis on those picks. A couple things before I get into that, I do want to ask that you like the video and subscribe to the channel. The NFL grind starts now, and I'm going to be uploading several NFL videos every week for the next 6 months or so. So if you're planning on grinding out the NFL season with me, then go ahead and sub to the channel, join the community, so you never miss out on these videos. And then I also want to plug the Roto Season Discord. We got a fast-growing community over there, and it's going to be a fun place to hang out and talk sports betting all season long, so feel free to come join us over there as well. Guys, this video is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Underdog is my personal favorite site to bet on player props. With Underdog, you're going to be picking the over-under on player stat props such as rushing yards or receptions. Underdog also offers versus markets where you can put one player's projection up against another. So instead of just taking the over on Derrick Henry rushing yards, you can bet that Derrick Henry will have more rushing yards than Jonathan Taylor, or that Justin Herbert will have more passing yards than Josh Allen. Underdog also offers some of the highest payouts in the industry at up to 20 times your entry fee compared to the 10x you get over on PrizePicks. If you're interested in joining Underdog, there's going to be a link at the top of the description for that. And if you use code ROTOSEASON at sign up, Underdog is going to give you a 100% deposit bonus up to $100. So if you deposit $100, Underdog will give you an additional $100 to play with for free to go towards that bankroll to kick off football season. Just click the link at the top of the description and use code ROTOSEASON at sign up to take advantage of that deposit bonus. Alright guys, getting into the first picks of the NFL season, we're going to go with Jake Luton over 115.5 passing yards. We're going to start off at the quarterback position with Jake Luton. Jaguars beat writer John Shipley tweeted out a few days ago that Trevor Lawrence will not play in the Hall of Fame game, and neither will backup CJ Beathard. That leaves just Jake Luton and Kyer Sloter as the only QBs for Jacksonville in this game. And the beat writer says Jake Luton will start Thursday and play a lot. And I really do expect that to be the case. Kyle Sloter just signed with the Jags less than 2 weeks ago, and he's likely nothing more than a camp arm. Jake Luton will almost certainly play at least half the game, and he might even I really wouldn't be surprised if we see him play into the third quarter a little bit as well. Luton has 3 career games under his belt, and he has not played well in any of them. He's thrown 2 touchdowns to 6 interceptions, and he has a career QBR of just 32.8. And he also just has 1 rush attempt in his career, so no upside there either. The one thing I do want to point out, though, is his passing yard totals. He's thrown for 304, 169, and 151 yards across the 3 games, and he's had 38, 35, and 37 pass attempts in those games. Now, of course, preseason is going to be different, but I still think 115.5 yards is just a little too low of a number for a guy who could see over half the game of playtime in the preseason. So I really do like the over on 115.5 yards for Jake Luton. And then for my second pick, we're going to move over to the fantasy score category. We're going to stay at quarterback, and we're going to take the over on 5.5 fantasy points for Jarrett Stidham. Moving over to the Raiders side and sticking with QB, Jarrett Stidham over 5.5 fantasy points. I'm gonna preface this by saying this pick is definitely on the riskier side, just because the Raiders have been pretty quiet as to what their plans are for this game. But I feel like we can make some educated guesses here. Derek Carr shouldn't play in this game, but if they do for some reason try to play him, it really should only be for 1 drive in all likelihood. Nick Mullins is a veteran backup quarterback. Everyone knows who he is. Everyone knows what he's capable of. So I really don't think it would make sense for Mullins to get much playtime either. And then that leaves us with just Chase Garbers and Jarrett Stidham, who I'm projecting will see the majority of QB play in this game for the Raiders. Like I said, this play is on the riskier side, but if Stidham can manage to get maybe a quarter and a half of playtime in this game, it really doesn't take much to eclipse 5.5 fantasy points, especially if he can manage to squeeze in some garbage time TD or some rushing yards. So I do like the over on 5.5 fantasy points for Jarrett Stidham, but I do want to say it is a little risky, and I would keep up with the Las Vegas Raiders beat writers just to see if we can manage to get any information on how much the QBs are going to play and which QBs are going to play. before game time. All right, and for my third and final pick, we're going to be going with Snoop Conner over 30.5 rushing yards. Rolling with the rookie running back here, Snoop Conner for my final pick. There's really not much analysis that goes into this one. There's been a lot of good things to say about Snoop Conner coming out of the Jags camp, and he's already been named the number 3 back on the depth chart for Jacksonville behind James Robinson and Travis Etienne. James Robinson and Travis Etienne are both inactive for this Hall of Fame game, so Snoop Conner should start, and he should see plenty of workload in this game. He's a rookie. He's a rookie running back with lots of good things coming out about him throughout camp. So, in my opinion, it just makes sense for the Jaguars to give him plenty of workload in this game. So I do like the over on 30.5 rushing yards for Snoop Conner. And that's going to do it. 3 picks that I'm liking for the first NFL game of the season. Jake Luton over 115.5 yards passing. Jarrett Stidham over 5.5 fantasy points. And then Snoop Conner over 30.5 rushing yards. I wish you all the best of luck in this Hall of Fame game. Let's try to start the NFL season with a dub. And yeah, we'll be grinding out NFL preseason starting next week with week 1. And I'll see you next time.